Friends. What is up with Greta Thunberg? Holy shit. Listen, holy fucking shit, guys. Okay, listen. I'm going to be honest with you, okay? I haven't been paying much attention to the Greta Thunberg shit because Greta Thunberg isn't a scientist. Greta Thunberg is an activist. She's an advocate. She's her job isn't to like disseminate new information that people didn't know. Her job is just to get people involved, to get people active, excited. That's her job. And that's a good job. That's important, you know? That's important work. Alongside scientists, there must always be science populists, so to speak, people who make science popular, you know? Think of like Bill Nye, for example. Now, Bill Nye is also a scientist, or at least he has credentials in that respect, but Bill Nye's job wasn't really to like push the fucking envelope with high-level research. Bill Nye's job was to get kids excited about science. And in a similar way, science communicators, or populist or popularists or popularizers, or I'm sure there are several terms that adequately describe the concept. And Greta is likewise basically that for climate change. Greta's there to agitate, to get people interested. It's the simplest thing in the world, really. And people have been doing this for millennia, you know? So why the fuck are conservatives so fucking mad? It's wild. It's insane to me. If you like, if we just hop on Twitter real quick. If we just fucking hop on Twitter real quick and we take a look at the I fucking looked. And you look at the comments of any of this fucking bitch's tweets, people are going a fucking crazy. If you look at like fucking hashtag climate hoax, that's always a fun one to search, by the way, if you want to kill yourself. In case you're interested in killing yourself. I see this all the time. People are like, people keep like calling her a Nazi. There are people who are saying that she's like the victim of child abuse, that she's part of like the brainwashed liberal. This is the wildest shit. Okay, so first off, I want to watch with you, and this will be the first time, by the way, that I've actually heard her voice. I have never listened to her because I don't know. Really quickly, let's watch her fucking speech at the UN. Okay, we're gonna go over. Okay, we're gonna grade her. She's 16, right? So she should be a sophomore in high school. Okay, I'm 25. I'm young. I'm just old enough to be like a teacher. Okay, hey, all right. Class is in session. Greta, show us what you're made of. You're being graded on this. The punishment for bad grade is death.
It was a lonely event a little over a year ago, and in the intervening time you have sparked the interest of millions, literally, of children around the globe demanding action for climate change. What's your message to world leaders today?
My message is that we'll be watching you.
Damn.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying.
Her voice
Entire
sounds
ecosystems are
nothing like what I
collapsing.
expected.
We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
So, from an optics perspective, we have to think, okay, so it's a call-out speech. She's calling out other people. She's calling out people for their inactivity, for their ignorance, so on and so forth, right? So we like the speech because we agree with her. It's easy for us to like the speech because we're not being called out. However, we have to think, like, how does this speech sound if you're one of the subhuman Neanderthals who still buys into the coal oil propaganda outlets that say that climate change is still a hoax? Like, what if you were one of these knuckle draggers? How would this feel to you? You know, so for a lot of people believe that global warming is this is a hoax perpetuated by the liberal academic elite, designed to make America kowtow to the interests of other nations, to make America weak and self-conscious and derivative, while the other nations blow past us. It's essentially a form of externalized self-destruction, right? So that's what a lot of people believe that, right? So to them, I don't know how effective this is. I don't really know. That's a really interesting, like, sort of optical question. If you're trying to motivate people to action, and these people are, like, actually brain dead, where do you move from that? Like, what's the approach? Do you mock them for being the victims of propagandists? Do you call out the billionaires who are funding the propaganda networks? Do you shit on the Republican Party as a broader thing? Like, I'm really interested. I wonder, because this is like a really tough sell rhetorically. All right.
For more than 30 years, the science has been crystal clear. How dare you continue to look away and come here saying that you're doing enough when the politics and solutions needed are still nowhere in sight? You say you hear us and that you understand the urgency. But no matter how sad and angry I am, I do not want to believe that. Because if you really understood the situation and still kept on failing to act, then you would be evil, and that I refuse to believe.
Okay. There are some people in chat right now who are saying, like, I think she's calling out the billionaire propagandists. But this line, to me, suggests that she's not. This, I refuse to believe that you know what you're doing, that is not what you would say if you were targeting the people responsible for perpetuating, like, a propaganda machine. You know what I mean? That I disagree with. This, to me, makes it sound like she's trying to... This, to me, makes it like she's trying to get the fucking libcucks, you know? She's trying to get the conservatives and the fascists and stuff. She's trying to get, like, the broader audience. And I don't know... She's calling out the politicians for not acting. No. If she was just calling out the politicians, she would have never said, and I refuse to believe you are aware of what... I disagree strongly. I think that any sensible analysis of sort of the political situation surrounding climate change and how we've responded to it systemically, all of these things stem from maliciousness, not from ignorance. Or she's just a naive teenager. What the fuck kind of counter... what? Yeah, I'm grading her. What the fuck? Oh, hey, I question this rhetoric. Oh, well, she's just a teenager. I know she's a fucking teenager. What the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, but she's a kid. What the fuck you people talk... Guys, I'm grading the rhetoric of the speech. We're talking about its effectiveness. The age of the person who's presenting it is irrelevant to the analysis of the speech itself. Politician, stop hating on her? What the... You're getting bad. You fucking brainlet. Fool. Easiest man of my life. Fucking idiots. Don't be mean. No one's being fucking mean. We're talking. So, you can go two routes with this. You can call out the people who are responsible for perpetuating this in the higher-ups. That would be the bankers, the politicians, the transnational elite, big echo signs, if you're a Nazi, blah, blah, blah. Or you can call out sort of the broader population. But if you're calling out the broader population, you can't... your rhetorical approach has to be very different. There's a difference between criticizing like this external elite group that's responsible for perpetuating misery and calling out the millions of people who have been sort of saddled onto those lies. It's very, very, very different. But I don't know. Let's see how it goes.
The popular idea of cutting our emissions in half in 10 years only gives us a 50% chance of staying below 1.5 degrees and the risk of setting off irreversible chain reactions beyond human control.
Damn.
50% may be acceptable to you, but those numbers do not include tipping points, most feedback loops, additional warming hidden by toxic air pollution, or the aspects of equity and climate justice. They also rely on my generation sucking hundreds of billions of tons of your CO2 out of the air with technologies that barely exist. So a 50% risk is simply not acceptable to us.
I like that meme right there, by the way. That's a big meme. That fucking cappies, that's what I call capitalists, cappies. That's a big fucking meme for them. The idea that future technology will be able to solve this. It's all well and good to have faith, by the way, in humans' capacity to develop new technologies to deal with myriad problems. We do that all the time. We've done that before. I believe in humans. However, there's a big difference between doing it or saying we're going to commit the resources necessary. We're going to put the money into R&D to make sure it happens, and waving your hands and vaguely, the free market. Oh, the free market. Oh, human innovation. Human innovation is unimaginably powerful. We don't need to fund it. We don't need to do anything about it. Someone will just come up with a solution. As all of our scientific agencies get deregulated and defunded, as we pump more and more and more and more money into private sector research that doesn't really aim towards the betterment of humanity, I mean, it doesn't really matter, you know. Innovation is innovation. People will come up with it. Of course, in reality, innovation is not this stochastic, inevitable, like random dice roll that occurs irrespective of other conditions. It is, in fact, something that has to be invested into. So when people, on one hand, praise the ingenuity of innovators and how they might pose a future solution to these problems, and then on the other hand, destroy the systems that guide that ingenuity, pretty cringe, TBH. Actually, pretty cringeworthy.
We who have to live with the consequences. To have a 67% chance of staying below a 1.5 degrees of global temperature rise, the best odds given by the IPCC, the world had 420 gigatons of CO2 left to emit back on January 1st, 2018.
And acronyms.
Today, that figure is already down to less than 350 gigatons. How dare you pretend that this can be solved with just business as usual and some technical solutions? With today's emissions levels, that remaining CO2 budget will be entirely gone within less than 8.5 years. There will not be any solutions or plans presented in line with these figures here today, because these numbers are too uncomfortable, and you are still not mature enough to tell it like it is.
Ooh.
You are failing us.
Cringing at the global liberal establishment.
Young people are starting to understand your betrayal. The eyes of all future generations are upon you. And if you choose to fail us, I say we will never forgive you. not let you get away with this. Right here, right now, is where we draw the line. The world is waking up, and change is coming whether you like it or not. Thank you.
Damn. One problem in her speech, big issue, implying there will be future generations around to never forgive the boomers. But they can't keep getting away with it! The boomers are getting away with it, folks. There's not going to be anyone left to boomers are going to fucking dab out into the ether, and all the zoomers will be left. The last generation. They can't keep getting away with it. That'd be a good get, less billionaire. So, I think that was a pretty good speech. I think that, here, let's bring up paint. We all need, listen. Is it a Voss stream if it's not a paint stream? Can we be real? Can we fucking get real for a second? Whoa! That's not what I wanted to hit. Whoa, why'd it close? Did I hit the kill button? Oh, that's weird. Well, Clip Studio Paint has a kill button. Vosh, and what are you doing about climate change? You have no room to critique her? Are you a liberal? Oh, your name is literally Intellectual Liberal 4. Okay. No, I'm not gonna ban you. What the fuck are you talking about? Alright, listen up, friends. It's time to talk optics. Who are you appealing to when you talk about climate change, okay? So listen, alright? Listen up. Listen. Hey, listen! Listen up, okay? There are a lot of different groups who are broadly culpable in the planet dying. Who banned them? I'm the banner here. Whatever, fuck you people. Anyway, there are a lot of groups who are culpable in the planet dying, okay? And you have to approach them in different ways. Watch this. Are you ready? Watch this. Okay? All right. First, you've got you know it. You know them. You love them. Listen. First up, we've got the bourgeois class, okay? This is the first one. The bougies, the boogies, the booglies, okay? So this includes basically all uber wealthy people, capital owners above a certain threshold of power, and politicians. These are the people who actually run and guide our society, okay? These motherfuckers up here, all right? Then we have the fucking magatards, okay? Okay? Then we've got these fucking people, all right? We've got these fucking peeps right over here. We've got these. Then we've got, how do I draw smug, intellectually deficient liberals? Can I draw Elon Musk? I'm just going to draw a rocket, okay? Listen, the rocket is Elon Musk, okay? Okay? See that? We've got them, okay? And then finally, on the far end of the spectrum, okay? We've got the doomers. How do we draw a doomer? This one, there's the doomer, okay? Listen, this is it. These are the 4 horsemen of the end of the world, okay? These are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse right here. And if you're going to, and all of these people stand in the way of us dealing with climate change, okay? We have to have, these 4 people are responsible to different extents, okay? Let's watch together, all right? First of all, these people, 100% on them. When the world burns, they will be the first ones tossed into the scalding Pacific, all right? This is it. These are the fucking ones on top. These are oil executives, coal executives, and politicians who are bought by either, who knowingly perpetuate false information designed to keep the public complicit in the destruction of the planet. Okay? These people are malicious. They are knowing and malicious. They have the intelligence and the political capital necessary to understand what they are doing, and they are doing what they are doing in spite of that. These people, I prescribe them the guillotine in a video game. This is a Minecraft guillotine. It's part of a resource pack. No, for real though. This is a specific group of people that have to be addressed specifically, okay? Now, in the immortal words of Karl Marx, who wrote capital letters, okay? People will do stuff that benefits them. That's what Karl Marx said, okay? Marl Karks, all right? So no amount of fucking motivational speeching, no fucking fancy pants UN speech is going to change the perspective of these people. They're not. They already know what they're doing. They've bought in. They're committed to being pieces of shit. The only thing you can really do is make it so that it is no longer in their material interest to continue being subhuman pieces of shit, right? That's pretty much all you can do. Because you can't change their mind. Because they know what they're doing. They're not misinformed. They're just bad people. So what you need to do is you have to cultivate a political climate where it is politically unfavorable, where it is a bad idea to continue to propagate that propaganda, you know? So you can't directly address these people. You can address them in like the, hey, you, fuck you sense, but you can't appeal to them, you know? Then you have the fucking magatards, okay? Not all of them are magatards, but like 98% of them are, okay? So let's be real, okay? We know that. All right? Look at this. These fucking people. Have you ever been, by the way, on MAGA Twitter? Hold on. This is a doomed place. This is a truly cursed environment. If you ever go in into MAGA Twitter, if you ever go over here, you will see some shit, okay? This is where you experience ego death, okay? And there are a lot of hashtags. I don't know why. A lot of hashtags. People love their hashtags in MAGA Twitter. Hashtag Wake Up America. Hashtag Impeachment's Sham. Hashtag Dems. Hashtag Trump 2020 Landslide. Hashtag Fake Whistleblower. Hashtag Joe China. Hashtag Ukraine Extortion. Hashtag Walk Away. Hashtag Democrat Hypocrisy. Hashtag Witch Hunt. Hashtag Fake Outrage. Hashtag MAGA. Hashtag Trump 2020. Hashtag CAG. CAG? CAG? I don't know what the fuck CAG means, but this is how these people talk. Anyway, the point that I'm getting at laboriously is that people, Republicans are subhuman. And I mean that in every sense of the word. I mean that if you, I'm no surgeon myself, but I know this. And there are studies on this, by the way. I'm not just like, keep America great, gotcha. I'm not just rattling this off. If you actually do an autopsy of a Republican, you will actually find distinct physiological distinctions between their body and those of a human being. The organs are wilted. The blood is of a sickly color. The skin is atonal beyond the first couple layers, like almost as though a vampire, someone painted on, like spray tanned. There's deeply wrong. Now the skull shape, folks. Don't even get me started on the skull shape of the Republican. The point I'm getting at is these people are difficult to reach. Okay, so how do you reach these fucking people? How do you do it? Tell me how you doing, okay? We forgot the tail. Blah. There you go. Look at that. Little tail. How are we doing, okay? So there are two basic routes, okay? You appeal to the commoner, or you appeal to righteous indignation, okay? So in one route over here, okay, you can say, here, watch this. I'll do a little mini speech. Watch this, okay? Pretend I'm Greta Thunberg, okay? I'm doing the Greta Thunberg voice, okay? For many decades now, American industry has been built on one idea and one idea only, and that is to make as much money as possible for the people who own those businesses. And let me tell you, folks, I love America, I love capitalism, and I love business owning. I love the people who make our economy great, who give us jobs, but let us recognize something. All good relationships have balance in them. There is a balance that is key to that relationship. And let me tell you, there is very little balance right now in the relationship between us and them. And that imbalance is best demonstrated by the fact that, and let me tell you folks, okay, I'm being sincere with this. I have looked over the papers myself. There is a lot here to take a real close look at. And let me tell you, it is very worrying. The papers from the scientists have shown that we are on the cusp of a very, very serious environmental problem, folks. Now, I know there are a lot of people out there that have spread a lot of false information about this, and I ain't aiming to go ahead and bolster that false information. I'm not a fake news boy, but let me tell you, okay? Let me tell you, I've had my boys run it by, I've looked at, I've done the independent research, and it really does seem like we are in the cusp of having to make some serious changes in this country. And let me tell you, those changes should come at the cost of the people who caused the problem that needs changing, all right? And let me tell you, it wasn't you with your plastic straws and your paper bags that caused this problem. It wasn't me with my with my recycling and my compost. No, let me tell you, it was the people who were taking the most from our economy. It is the people, the winners, the people who won the most. It is from the factories. It is from the business owners. These are the people who did the harm. These are the people who are going to need to pay. And if you think that's wrong, if you think they're being punished for hard work, they ain't, okay? They're still winning. They still on top, all right? All they're doing is paying their fair share, cleaning up a mess they created. We're going to get on top of this because if we don't, it's people like you and I who are going to suffer the most. You understand that? People like you and I, not them. They've got helicopters. They've got big businesses. They've got their Cayman Island accounts. They've got their 6th, 7th vacation home. They can just move and move and move. They're going to be fine no matter what happens. But you and me, you want to pay an extra $100, $200 a month AC when the temperature keeps rising every summer? Tell you what, where I live, we've had 7 consecutive hottest days every July, every single July running. Hottest day next year, hottest day next year, hottest day. You want to be paying that cost? Do you want to be paying more for fuel when we don't do anything to renovate our transportation systems and we're running on what's left of the gas left in this country, left on this planet, and gas keeps getting more and more and more pricey, but because we keep building cities further and further and further out, you ain't got nothing to do except spend $20 getting to work and $20 getting back on gas? Is that what you want to do? They don't mind. They got $20. They'll spend $2,000 on the helicopter gas. But you and I can't do that. And you and I are the ones who made that work. You and I are the ones who worked them factory lines, who worked that retail job. You and I deserve a better future than what they're trying to give to us. They're pushing money right now through Washington. They're pushing their big business dollars to our corrupt politicians, doing everything in their power to suppress legislation that would make this relationship fair again, to make sure that you and I do not suffer the consequences for their greed. There. That is one way to sell. How do I draw this? How do I draw that? Here, I'm going to draw, listen, I'm drawing the American flag, okay? There we go. Bleh. I'm not drawing fucking... There we go. That's one way to appeal, okay? You go for that common populist Dixie charm right there, and you do your absolute best to appeal to Americana in a way that like calls out the people who are responsible, okay? And alternatively, another way that you can go about this is to appeal to the more conspiratorial elements of the MAGA crowd, okay? You can go to the more conspiratorial elements. And that one, by the way, is much easier because this QAnon shit blew up enough that people are really receptive to this kind of stuff. And this one's really fucking simple. Literally, all you have to do is pretend to be Alex Jones, okay? And I'm not going to try and do an Alex Jones voice because I've had a cough for long enough, but you get the gist, all right? You're going to get the gist, all right? I'm not doing a fucking Alex Jones voice, Jesus Christ. Now listen, you and I, we do the work in this country. You and I, and by you and I mean Americans. I mean most Americans, okay? We work hard. Hardest working country there is, all right? And you know, and we know, we all know it. Okay, we've been getting screwed over for a really long time, all right? They say Democrats, Republicans, you understand, both of them, they've got basically the same aims in mind. Trump, what has Trump done? Economy, baby, the stock, the NASDAQ's going up. Economy's still hurting for most of us. People still working a lot of jobs, and you know, and we know, okay, the real reason things aren't changing isn't because we haven't elected the right guy into office. It's because the system is broken. And I don't mean we need to go with any like fucking communism or any shit like that. It just means the wrong people are up there, okay? We've got these nasty, pedophile fucks up there in Washington. We've got these big money, deep state execs working with the politicians. They buy those politicians. They buy and sell them like drugs. And then they write the bills and slide it right in front of those junior senators and junior congressmen. Hey, you, just sign it off. That's what they do. This isn't a democracy. This isn't America. This isn't how America was when I was born, okay? This is an oligarchy. This is corporatism. You and I are getting fucked. And one of the ways we're getting fucked, and let me tell you, this is a big one. Hey, I understand you've probably heard a lot about this, but hey, let's be real, okay? Let's be fucking real for a second. It's getting hotter. It's getting way warmer these days. You know it. You'd be an idiot not to know it. You think this is just a bump? We ain't seen bump like this before. You know who doesn't want you to understand science? Them. Because they are the ones who profit from your ignorance. Never let yourself be ignorant. Be a fucking lion, okay? Lions aren't ignorant. Lions understand every square inch of the savannah they patrol, and that is what you need to do. And one of those square inches, one of the parts of that savannah, the dark area they don't want you to go in, is understanding how they're fucking you over by ruining the environment, by ruining this planet that we all have to share with them, just so they can get another yacht, just so they can buy another couple dozen Thai boys to fuck while they snort cocaine off the kid's back, all right? That's what they're getting out of it. What are we getting out of it? We're getting skyrocketing global temperatures every single year. We're getting ruinous effects to our environment. Species you like when you were a kid, hey, I hope you liked them when they were there, okay? Because by the time I die, I'm pretty sure half of the animals I knew when I grew up are gonna be fucking gone. The polar bears, I hope that wasn't your favorite animal. Fucking seals, fucking killer whales. They're the ones making money off of this, all right? It's the deep state. They're the ones who profit, and they sell you these lies. They're Prager University videos, or Ben Shapiro, the weaselly fuck, who will lie to you, bald-faced. They'll look you in the eye, and they'll say shit like, oh, when the water levels rise, you can just sell your home. Sell your home to fucking what? It's underwater. And he knew that. He knew that when he said it. Ben Shapiro, he knew that when he said it, but someone told him to say it. Maybe it was Murdoch. Maybe it was Soros, or maybe it was one of the Koch brothers. It doesn't really matter, does it? They're all the same, and they have the same interests, all right? But you and me got different interests, all right? Now listen, here's our shared interest. For only $2.99 a month, $2.99.99 a month, you can join my mug club. And let me tell you, folks, these mugs, they're made in America, they're better, and so on and so on. That is the other good way you sell them on this shit, okay? How do I draw? I'm drawing the Illuminati. There we go. Is the eye sideways or here, there? There we go. There you go. The Eye of Providence. Have I ever personally convinced people like that, or are you just brainstorming? When you're trying to change people's minds, you can never change them by talking to them directly. The best way to change people's minds is to leave them with information contrary to that which they already possess, and then to fucking dip. Literally just dip. Just leave and give them a bit, and hopefully they'll sit on it, and maybe they'll change their mind. That's it. You won't convince them of sustainable climate policies with rhetoric like this. You'll just turn them into eco-fascists. The goal here is to get people motivated to stop climate change. That is specifically what I am referring to. Yo, this is going to be on YouTube? Everything I do is on YouTube. I'm streaming this on YouTube right now. Hold on. Cough's going to take a little bit to come back, okay? Now, with the fucking libs, okay? And this is a very specific demographic of people, okay? So, these people, the porkies over here, know there's climate change and don't want to do anything about it. These people, the magatards, don't know there's climate change and don't want anything to do about it, okay? They don't want anything done about it because they don't think it's real. These people know there's climate change but don't do anything meaningful to stop it. They are nominally against climate change, okay? And these are fucking liberals, okay? Look, it's a rocket like Elon Musk, okay? These are the people who will argue about budgets and deficits when talking about whether or not it's feasible to prevent the end of the world. These are the people who will hand wave and suggest that sometime in the near future, oh, hey, ingenuity will take care of it. Ingenuity, all right? We don't need to worry too hard, all right? Wait, hold on. What the fuck? No, that's all kind of wrong. The best way to change people's mind is through Socratic dialogue. Make them answer questions that lead them directly to the answer you want them to. That's more or less the only way. No. I'm sorry. If you've ever directly argued with someone, if you unironically believe that the Socratic method is the proper way to change minds, I'm really sorry. The Socratic method is a really good way of sussing out, like, good or bad ideas. But in terms of changing people's minds, no. Direct debate can never do it. It cannot do it. The best thing that you can do is challenge people's beliefs and then put them in an environment where they don't feel, where you minimize the consequences to their pride if they change those beliefs. No, I'm sorry. Please, God, go up to a fucking MAGA hat and start Socratic methoding them, okay? Please, go have fun. The libs, my friends. The fucking libs. The fucking libs! They can't keep getting away with it. These are the people who say climate change is bad, who recognize it exists. However, they do nothing to meaningfully address it. They hem and haw about timetables and budgets. These are those people, okay? And if you're calling out these people, I don't feel like doing another fucking speech, okay? If you're calling out these people, the best thing you can do, by far, easily, is to call them dumb fucks. Okay? It's to call them dumb fucks. I'm not joking. The thing is here, these people, as we've acknowledged prior, are subhuman, and you can only appeal to them by hitting them like on strong emotional points, okay? The problem is these people already think they're doing everything they can to better the world. They think that process is defined by incremental change and by approving slight increases to R&D teams who are trying to uncover some nonsense incremental bullshit like this, okay? These people can't really be reached with these same broad emotional talking points because they already think they're in the emotional right. All right? That's some gay ass shit. So if you're talking to them, all you can really do is hammer home that it's not fucking working, okay? No, we can do it, okay? Hey, liberal. Hello, liberal. Hey, listen up. Hey, how you doing? Climate change is pretty bad, huh? I know you're working hard. You're recycling. You've stopped using plastic straws. I know, it's very good. Oh, you're going vegan soon. Wonderful. You're doing wonderfully, okay? And I bet you feel really good about yourself. But here is a slight problem. It's not enough. It will never be enough. Not just you. I mean, of course, you alone won't be enough. If every single human on the planet who is capable of doing what you're doing did what you did, it wouldn't be enough. Do you know what would be enough, though? Massive systemic change within our political and economic system. Big system change. Not you. Big system change. Your system is... It's so great. It's so cute. You're doing great, okay? I'm really proud of you and how few plastic cups you're using, all right? But you, my friend, have been fed a ridiculous lie. You have been fed the lie that climate change is a product of American or of Western greed. That it's a product of the individual people who live here consuming too much, too many straws. And if we just stopped doing that, and if we started recycling, that the world would improve. But, and I'm really sorry to say this, that was a lie. In reality, the vast majority of CO2 produced on this planet, particularly within America, is done by corporations. Big systems with big money who spend that money keeping politicians from writing laws to rein those suckers in. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh yeah, big business is bad, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Why don't you do something about it? One thing you could do is to stop harping on about what the individual does with their time, with their money, whether or not they recycle, whether or not they're vegan, and spend a little bit more time calling for systemic change for the people who are actually harming the world. Because the way it feels to me is that you're not so much interested in making the world better and preventing climate change as you are with feeling like you're a part of the solution. That's the feeling I get from you, you know? And that sucks because we're not all you, actually, and I don't care how good you feel about yourself. And when I see you on Twitter or on Reddit or on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch or whatever, prattling on about how people need to make more eco-conscientious decisions in their day-to-day life, I can't help but wonder, why are you leaving such a big part of the puzzle out of the equation? Why are you leaving? Why do you only focus on the individual change? When pressed on this, why do you dawdle off into some meaningless soliloquy on the strength of human innovation and the capacity for change we all hold within our hearts? Why is it that you are so dedicated to opposing climate change, but so utterly unwilling to name its causes, its real causes? It just makes me feel like you're a fucking lib, to be honest. It makes me feel like you're more interested in keeping the system the way it is now, even if it means the end of the earth, than you are with changing that system to not end the earth. You should stop relying on solutions that are fed to you by people who are actually responsible for the problem. The plastic straws don't mean shit. Minor change. But funny how California was willing to pass a law that so many people raged so hard against. Very unpopular, that plastic straw change to a lot of people, but they are equally unwilling to pass any laws whatsoever to change the behavior of the corporations that are responsible for the majority of pollution and CO2 production within that state. That's a little strange, don't you think? Why was California so willing to piss off voters, but so unwilling to challenge the comparatively minute portion of its demographic base that worked for a particular company? That's really weird. I wonder why. You know, and this is a true story, by the way. Back when I lived in Beverly Hills, very rich, very wealthy area. I mean, I wasn't super rich, but it was a nice area. You know what the city did? To promote wellness and climate change prevention. Do you know what the city did? The city went door to door and gave all of us little suction cup shower hourglasses. This is true. It was a 5-minute hourglass on a suction cup. And you'd put it in your shower, you'd stick it to a tile, and you'd turn it, and your shower is supposed to be done in 5 minutes. This is Beverly Hills. Do you have any idea how many executives, how many bougie fucks live in that town? And they gave us shower timers. That's what they gave us. They're so willing to shit on their voters. Oh, the planet's facing a global crisis? Looks like you've been taking 8-minute showers there, bucko. Try and cut that down a bit. Oh, sir, businessman, I tip my hat to you. Oh, no, you don't need to worry about me. Listen, I say I'm in favor of opposing climate change, but I wouldn't do anything to get in the way of your profits. Yes, thank you, sir. I look forward to seeing you at my fundraiser next month. Big problems require big solutions. Imagine if in World War II, Nazi Germany was spreading this way and that, and all the neighboring governments, so your Denmarks, your Finlands, your France, your England, Poland, all these countries, all of the rich, up and left, all the wealthy folk, the politicians, businessmen, they all dip. And in their absence, they leave all of the regular people notes saying, there are guns in the armories. Just do what you can as an individual to deal with this problem. It'd be ludicrous, of course, but that is essentially what you're propping up here. Your inaction, and that's exactly what it is, because I don't count not using plastic cups as action, is in large part responsible for the end of the world, the coming end of the world. And I beg of you, please drop your meaningless, hyperbolized affection for the system as it exists today in favor of one which doesn't threaten the planet. That's pretty much all you can do with these people. And I lumped in a lot, like, broadly. But basically, what are we doing? You know what? Here's a fucking chai tea. There. There we go. We did it. That's a chai tea. And then we have the doomers. And the doomers just think the world is going to end no matter what, and there's nothing we can do. These people's minds can't really be changed. And also, there aren't that many of these people. If their mind is going to be changed, it's because they started getting on medication, not because they heard a good argument. And there we have it. So, what did Greta's argument sound like most? It mostly sounded like this one to me. Greta's argument sounded like it was aimed at people who know that climate change exists, but are unwilling to do anything to stop it. This is what Greta's sounded like to me. The problem is nothing changes until these people do. And the only way to change these people's opinions, or not really their opinions, but their behavior, is to make it, excuse me, is to make it such that it is no longer politically efficacious for them to continue pushing that propaganda. And the best way for them to do that is to make that propaganda unfavorable to their voter base. So to my mind, if we want to deal with climate change, this is what we have to do. I think that by far, these rhetorical approaches are the ones that are most underutilized and most potentially efficacious. Because as long as a substantial chunk of the voting base in this country is utterly convinced that that global climate change is a libtard myth, these people are untouchable right here. Because they have a voter base that will live and die to protect their lies. So make eco-fascists, I mean, okay. They're already fascists. It's better to have eco-fascists than non-eco-fascists. When people are like, this is how you make eco-fascists. Have you talked to a Republican lately? They're already fascists. These people are already fascist bootlickers. At least make them care about the fucking environment. The goal here, the goal that we're talking about in this specific stream, is how do you get people to care about climate change? So we're talking about how to make people eco. They're already fascists, so they're going to be eco-fascists, okay? But being an eco-fascist is still better than being an anti-eco-fascist. Listen, it's a step forward, okay? We deal with the eco here, we deal with the fascist elsewise. Eco-fascists will kill the poor people as that's how they solve climate change. They're already going to do that. Whether you like it or not, a substantial portion of the voting base in this country is already fascist or fascist-leaning. And if they're going to be fascist or fascist-leaning, they might as well be the brand of fascist that doesn't let the world end. Eco-fascism will land better with the youth, don't do it? What the fuck kind of argument is that? Okay, chat's got unironic fucking brainworms today, okay? You've got two problems here. One of them is that the world is dying because of climate change, and one of them is that fascists exist. 98% of my channel is dedicated to dealing with this, and I spend one fucking moment saying that we could deal with this by using folksy Americana propagandizing, and you people whine and pitch a fucking fit like, oh, well then how do we deal with the fascists? Shut the fuck up! We're going to be dealing with fascists in this country for centuries, okay? They're here whether you like it or not. The poor people are dying whether we like it or not. The brown people are dying whether we like it or not. We can stop that, but we have another fucking problem to deal with here. And as the world burns and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of brown people die because fucking dipshit MAGA bros over here were never convinced that climate change was a real thing, I would love you to look upon them smugly and say, we didn't want to risk bolstering eco-fascism as opposed to regular fascism, as it may have appealed more to the sensibilities of the younger folks. So that's why we didn't bother convincing 40% of the electorate of the most powerful country on the planet of climate change, because we didn't feel it really addressed the underlying problematic nature of their values. It's funny because you say that that using like fucking Americana conspiracy shit to address climate change is going to like bolster ecofascism. Both of these are lefty takes. You realize that, right? When I did this shit, I was literally arguing in favor of proletarian organizing. I just did it using folksy Americana terminology. On this one, I literally argued against like the elite, except I did it using folksy American conspiratorial terminology. This is how you appeal to people, guys. This is how you engage in rhetoric. I'm sorry I haven't done my fucking rhetoric stream yet, so some of you are like not sufficiently fucking up on this shit. But if you want to change people's minds, sometimes you have to deviate from the 100% fucking optimal way of appealing to people's interests. And this is a really good way to appeal to people's interests. And of the people who are pulled more towards ecofascism from this rhetoric, I bet you 10 times as many people will be pulled towards material analysis and class consciousness on part of it. Isn't bolstering nationalism or conspiracy theories bad praxis? For one, the left is pretty fucking... For one, whoa, hold on. Whoa. For one, no. It is not bolstering nationalism to use nationalism to appeal to Americans and spread class consciousness. What the fuck kind of brain dead take is that? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a leftist. I can only change people's minds without mentioning America. I don't want to appeal to any patriotism because that would be problematic. No, do what needs to be done to change people's minds. Easy. And as for the conspiratorial shit, nothing that I said was conspiratorial. Wealthy people conspire to prevent politicians from voting on climate change action, and also wealthy people fuck kids. Every single wealthy person right now is fucking a child. Are you wealthy? Pull your fucking dick out of that 8-year-old, okay? You're fucking disgusting. You fucking disgust me. All of you are Epstein, all right? This is true. Right now, this is true, okay? So this is no more conspiratorial than any of my fucking shows, and this is basically what I say on a day-to-day basis, except done with a southern drawl. All right. You're all Epstein. All of you are Epstein. I'm Epstein. I am Spartacus. Like for those of you like you, oh my God, you people, sorry, I shouldn't generalize, not you people. Coalition building is really, really, really fucking important, okay? Like, really important. And if you're unwilling to coalition build with a huge portion of the country because it icks you out to deal with patriotism and nationalism, then you're not good at coalition building. You're just bad at it. Like, you can't do it that well, you know? That's important. I will absolutely appeal to nationalism if it changes people's minds on this issue. Brother, hey... I'll appeal to religion if I need to. Hey, have you heard the word of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? We were given this earth as a bountiful home to for us to live in as kings of this. But lately, some ungodly folk have taken destruction. I'll do anything. I don't give a fuck. The point isn't the rhetoric that you use. That's just how you deliver the point. The point is the positions you get other people to arrive at after you've finished with the rhetoric. They'd shut down so fast. Well, I also don't know anything about like religion, so I could probably get out-argued by most Bible thumpers, you know? Would I eat poop? I would eat up to a moderate amount of poop to prevent the end of the world, okay? Up to a moderate amount, but not too much. This is exactly what you're talking about? Ah, yes, excellent. Everyone's seen this tweet, right? Hey, if you think a 16-year-old can give speeches on climate change, then you should have no problem with Epstein raping children. Now that is a good-ass take right there. Squad W, brothers. What incredible hypocrisy. Can you imagine the gall of people who think it's okay for 16-year-olds to try and save the world, but don't think it's okay to rape 16-year-olds? Squad W, brothers. This is some fucking misandry right here. That's some dumbass shit. People get so crazy fucking triggered about Greta Thunberg. So fucking triggered. Do you know why that is? False prophet of the children's crusade. Do you know the real reason why people like conservatives are so fucking mad about Greta? The real reason why is because she's speaking out of turn. There is nothing conservatives are more disgusted by than the idea of a person, not just that, a young person, not just that, a young girl, not just that, a young girl on the autism spectrum, calling them out. It is a grievous harm to them. Their egos cannot tolerate it. They're not capable of handling it. Because at the end of the day, conservatism is driven by emotion. It is. It is driven by fear. It is driven by hatred. It's mostly driven by fear. It's driven by paranoia, but it's mostly driven by fear. Most conservatives are deeply fearful people. They're deeply scared. Really quickly, I'm going to address some of the broader complaints that people throw at Greta Thunberg, okay? I can roll through these like in my sleep, because the people who are throwing out these points know that they're bad points. These people understand that that these are indefensible arguments, but they will throw them out there anyway, because, you know, they don't really care. They don't really care about being truthful, because, guys, say it with me. Say it the fuck with me. Fascists don't care about the chat. Truth and facts are both acceptable answers. Yep. There we go. Truth and facts. Those both count. A+. A fucking plus. Fascists do not care. They don't care about the truth. Not in the sense that they're ignorant. They know, they just don't care if they're right or wrong. They have a very specific agenda they want to push, and nothing about that agenda has any room within it for a young neuroatypical girl telling them that they're contributing to the end of the world. So let's go over these arguments, huh? Really quick Greta Thunberg arguments. It's child abuse to let your kid be a public spokesperson for this issue. No. Children have been public figures since time immemorial. Would you go back and say the same to every young person who has ever done any public service or any public work? No, of course you wouldn't. That would be fucking ridiculous. You're just ass mad. In fact, Greta Thunberg having the opportunity to speak at the UN is probably going to set her for life in terms of accessibility to like job opportunities, in terms of like outcomes for like a better future. Any child of that age would consider it a tremendous honor to have the opportunity to do what she has done. Any one of them. So the idea that this is child abuse is just stupid. You don't believe that. Greta Thunberg is a Nazi because I saw a picture of a Nazi girl with braids and she has braids. Okay. I thought us lefties were the ones who called everyone Nazis. Greta Thunberg is not scientifically educated enough to speak on these issues. You don't have to be scientifically educated on the specifics of global climate change in order to speak the very salient point that most people are, either through very deliberate ignorance or through blatant propagandizing, ignoring its effects. You don't need to be in on the science there. It would be like, see, I'm not a doctor, okay? I don't have much medical training. However, I still think I am educated enough to say, please stop that if a person is stabbing themselves in the throat over and over and over again. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really know what's happening with the knife in the throat. I imagine things are getting severed and they're losing blood, and it's probably bad. However, I couldn't really give you the specifics. Doesn't mean I can't pull that knife away. Furthermore, Greta Thunberg is a puppet of the lefty god tier, the lefty Jewish conspiracy establishment. evidence. Also, of what, even if that was true, of what relevance is that? What does any of it mean? I have no idea what that means. What does it mean to be a puppet of the establishment? Like, what does that have to do with her points? I don't care if she's like the granddaughter of Soros himself. Like, I have no fucking idea. Like, what is that? What do you mean? It's a literal non-argument. I have no idea what point you're trying to get across. She's autistic. Okay, cool. She's ugly. Okay, cool. There are a lot of conservatives who would just relentlessly make fun of her for being on the autism spectrum and for like her appearance. It's really weird. I don't know why you're so obsessed with how children look. I don't fuck kids because I'm not a Republican and not a billionaire. So I don't know. I don't know. I've never, listen. I've never slipped myself into a kid. I don't know. I don't have the fresh perspective on how children look that conservatives have, So that's something you're in that respect, in that respect, you have one up on me in regards to your general worldliness. That's basically the gist of it. All of the arguments against Greta Thunberg are the desperate screeching and wailing of people who are personally triggered. And they are. I've seen the Twitter threads, folks. Actually triggered by the existence of Greta Thunberg. And to you I say, haha, lol, you mad? You triggered? Bro, how are you mad? You mad, bro? Triggered? You triggered? Are you getting triggered right now? Are you triggered? Can you feel it triggering you? Are you mad? Are you mad about being triggered? Are you triggered about being mad? I bet you're both. Mad about being triggered, triggered about being mad, being triggered, and being mad. That's all four things. Are you all four things? Are you mad about being triggered about being mad? It can go infinite. There are infinite regressions in both directions, my friend. You are both mad and triggered, triggered and mad. Check yourself. That's it. That's all I have to say. And malding! That's all I have to say. Nice!